A long time ago, somewhere probably on the internet, a wise man once said, in order for the photographer to be taken seriously, they must shoot raw. Alright, so today's video is going to be JPEGs only, so every image that you see in this video is going to be taken straight out of the camera, absolutely no post-processing done whatsoever. However, that being said, there are some terms and conditions to this, so I've had a little bit of a play with the colour profile. We're going to use the monochrome colour profile because it's kind of overcast and there's absolutely no light to speak of, and looking at the weather forecast, I don't think there is going to be any anywhere. We've reduced the sharpening down to -2 because I do not trust in-camera sharpening at all, and I've also put a little bit of an S-curve on the profile just to give it a little bit of a contrast and a little bit of a pop. So let's get stuck in, let's walk down to the end of Spurn Point where the lighthouse is and all the fun stuff is, and just see what we can do. So we're a good chunk of the way down now. The lighthouse is looking kind of big, which is good because this is one of those walks where you can see your destination, but it just never seems to get any closer, and it's a long straight path. So on the walk down here, I've just been stopping off and taking photographs of anything that I find, well, interesting. And I've got to be honest, being able to see the finished photograph in the viewfinder is quite fun. It really just allows you just to concentrate on taking the photograph there and then, rather than having to worry about thinking about the post-processing side of it and the final look for the image, because, well, it's there, you can see it. It's been a little bit liberating. I'm quite enjoying this. Apart from the walk, oh man, this walk. Just excuse me for a minute, I'm just sheltering from, well, there's a bit of a wind coming off the North Sea and it's really kind of howling at the minute, and well on the horizon I can see some inclement wet stuff is encroaching, so I'm kind of hoping that the weather holds off for at least another hour, but we are quite close down there now. I just wanted to come up on the berm and take one of my favourite photographs again with the Micro Four Thirds camera. It's just shooting down the berm towards the lighthouse. It's a favourite of mine. I've taken the photograph several times. It's just one of them. It never gets boring, well, to me. Anyway, so I'm going to head back down to the path where there's some shelter from some of this wind and carry on my little trek down to the lighthouses, and I'll catch up with you guys as soon as we get there. How cool were them cows? First time I've seen them down here. Apparently they're using some new grazing technology where they don't need fences. There's some audio signal that tells the cows where they live, but well, I managed to get a couple of photos of them, and I think one of them actually looked quite nice, the one with the 2 cows in the lighthouse. But yeah, we are there. There's the lighthouse. So finally I can get stuck in and do some more photography because I haven't been doing that all the way down here. Oh, I think first a breather, a rest and a drink is in order, and we haven't got long. This weather is really about to kick off now. So I really think that the black and white profile that I'm using today is really helping the photography. It's an overcast day, but there's still loads of texture and contrast in the sky. The lighthouse itself is black and white, so there's loads of contrast there. There's loads of dark bushes and there's loads of light grass. There's loads of darks and lights everywhere. There's contrast everywhere, and it's really popping on this black and white profile. And like I said earlier on, it's great for me because I can see in the viewfinder, obviously it's a mirrorless camera, I can see in the viewfinder the finished photograph. It's fantastic. I'm having so much fun just shooting these JPEGs today. I really kind of hope that they look alright when we get on the computer. Obviously you guys have seen these before I am, which is, well, it's backwards to me, but it's the reality of it. So let's hang around a little bit longer. The weather so far has held off, but there's a little garage just along the path that I can sneak into should the weather really turn. So let's get stuck in, see what else we can find. Yes, I took a picture of the lighthouse with the daffodils because I knew it would book somebody It was kind of bugging me I didn't see him originally, despite him being sat right in front of me. Lighthouse and daffodils. So I have been visiting this very echoey lighthouse for the last 3 or 4 years, just about on a weekly basis, and for the first time ever, here we are, we're at the top, and what a view it is from up here, I tell you that. You can see right down the beach back towards where I came, you can see right down to the end of the peninsula, you can see right out to the North Sea, and there's some amazing architecture in here as well. You can see all the lines and everything on the lighthouse, so I've just been using them to frame some views out of the windows, but wow. I'll tell you what, it was worth the climb up here. It's a steep climb, but it's definitely well worth coming up. So as I said when I was up there, that was a first for me. I've been down here many times. I knew that you was able to take a tour of the lighthouse, but it just so happened to be I got here at the same time a small shower was starting, and kind of thought, well, no brainer, why not go up? I didn't realise just how much further this road actually went down. I normally come down to roughly around here and not much further down, if I'm being honest with you. Time is never really on my side, but yeah, I did enjoy that, and I didn't realise how much more there was to explore. So I think, armed with some new knowledge, let's do it. Let's have a look. Let's get right down to the end of Spurn Point for the very first time. And I've just seen something, and I've had an idea. So it was just kind of by chance out of the corner of my eye, I managed to see this square rectangular post thing on top of the van, was able to get up to it, and I just immediately thought it's facing the lighthouse. Wouldn't it make an awesome frame? So let's have a look, let's shoot through it and let's frame the lighthouse with it, why not? This is the worst stance I've ever taken to take a photograph. Hopefully that's going to work. I just want a little bit more sky above it. There we go, thank God for image stabilisation. Here's that photograph. So who do I think this kind of photography will be aimed at? Well, anybody really. I know there are those people out there that really do like to dive into the editing process, but I'm not really one of them. I would consider myself something of a lazy editor. I don't really enjoy it all that much, and I really have to be inspired by an image to spend any sort of length of time on it. So I would consider this kind of photography really aims at somebody like myself who just wants to go out and take photographs, you know. Not everybody wants to go to the far end of one editing a photograph. There are plenty of people out there who are happy just to pick up a camera, go and take some snaps, and they are quite happy with that. So the whole you have to shoot raw argument, it's not aimed at everybody. It shouldn't be a generic spread. It works for me because of the way that my workflow works, but at the same time I don't often enjoy it. And like I've said a couple of times in this video, it's made a really refreshing change just to look through the viewfinder and see the final image and not really have to worry about going home and editing everything together, because oftentimes you can go out shooting for a day and you can have quite a lot of images to go through. So at least the ones that you can see on the camera you can go through, delete, and you have the images when you get home, and you can do what you want with them. So it's made a really refreshing change shooting this, and I really don't know where the you have to shoot raw argument comes from. I really do not. It's one of them internet myths, I believe. There's quite a few of them, isn't there? There's quite a few internet myths. Let's crack on, see what else we can do.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights.
So I've been walking around now for maybe 10-15 minutes. I've not really seen an awful lot else to take a photograph of, and the wind's really sort of picked up and there is an awful lot of weather on its way across, so I think it's time for me to scarper back to the car. It's about a 3-mile hike from here and it's mostly sand, so it's not the most funnest, enjoyable, nicest of hikes. So yeah, I think it's time to wrap this one up. So thank you very much for watching. I do hope I've given you an idea of how to go out and shoot, a different way of thinking with this. It's certainly been an eye-opener for me. It's probably the first time I've ever really done anything like this, and I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. And if you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. It really does help bring new viewers to see my content. It really does help the channel out. And if you're new here and you've enjoyed it, please do consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything and it really does me a favour, and it really encourages me to keep making these YouTube videos every single week. So until the next time, I'm going to love you and leave you and say peace and goodbye.